Welcome to the Rocky Garza Show, where we explore the collision of a deeply meaningful life and a wildly impactful career. I'm your host, Rocky Garza, and with over a decade of experience as a coach, consultant, and keynote speaker to many Fortune 500 companies, I'm here to share personal stories and expert advice to help you gain clarity, build confidence, and discover that you too can build the life you actually want. Whether you're a high achiever looking for a more full life or a leader striving for professional success with purpose, this podcast was designed with you in mind. All right, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. John Wetmore himself. My guy, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing, bro. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I so appreciate you being with us today. You and I had the unique opportunity to meet at 8%. And for some reason, I was actually thinking about this morning, there were hundreds of people there, tons of people that speakers at 8%. I tell you what, Cody, my guy, is not afraid to put a speaker on stage at 8%. There was content coming out of our ears. But of all the people that were up there and that were sharing, after you went, I thought, I got to go find that guy. And I listen, I'm going to be very clear. Like, I speak a lot. And so I'm not always interested in going and talking to folks afterwards. But for some reason, there was something about, I got to go find that guy. And so I was creeping on you, and you had someone on your team with you. And I didn't know at the time, because I didn't know you. I was like, is that his wife? Are they related? And then at one point we found ourselves like in the same back room, both taking a call at the same time. And I remember I was trying to do some coaching. And I just remember at one point you were like, I'm good at this. I need someone to figure this part out for me. And I was like, I now really like him after that. So I don't know if that was verbatim what you said, but it was totally something like that. I so appreciate you being here. I think for most folks, they kind of know about you, but give me just a quick, easy rundown, just real fast of like, who are you? How did you even get to where you are? Because I don't think that it's definitely not like the quote unquote fast path to success that I think so oftentimes we get pitched on. If you'll just get in and pick a real estate, get in insurance, get in software, get in what? Tell me about yourself, John.
Man, I'm just a dude in Atlanta who works hard and won't give up.
Listen, bro, that's what I'm talking. That's all I needed. That's exactly what I mean. Tell me about that, because I want to know about that. I don't care about you don't have to tell me about the software and the insurance and policies and agents. And people want to know that. They can go to Google, look you up. Everything people want to know about you is there. Tell me about that. Tell me about the dude in Atlanta who works hard and refuses to give up.
Yeah, I definitely grew up broke. My whole life, all I know is broke, to be real. I had kids super young. My first one on the way at 16. She's 30 now. And I apologize. I'm getting a little sick, so the voice is a little off.
You're good.
But
You're good.
All my older kids know is broke journey. When 35 years old, at the time, was tired of it, had an opportunity. And I've had other opportunities in my life that I just handled poorly. This insurance deal, I looked at it a little bit differently. I was probably more ready in life for an opportunity. A little bit more mature, was tired of the situation, and man, just spent a lot of time working on me, bro, to get better. I realized a lot of us complain about our situation, and I was one of those people. I was pretty negative by default. Like, I roll out of bed, I'm wired to be negative. After kind of meeting some cool people in life, and some people were honest with me, and I finally took it on that I was the problem. And for me, what that did is open up an opportunity to also be the solution. And man, again, a very long story short, started running with it and slowly improving day by day and make a lot of mistakes still. I was just tired of that, man. I wanted different for my kids. I wanted my kids to live different. I was tired of telling them no. My mom did her best to get us out of the situation we were in when I was young. And I wanted to continue that journey that I didn't see at the time. And now, thank God, they get to. My youngest, Maddox, very different than the older kids. All he knows is money and different lifestyle. He's a country club kid. And so now I have to teach different things, which is really weird.
So let me take what I heard you say back, and then you help me navigate this, especially for folks that are listening, because I think there's a couple elements of what you said that I think are really meaningful to folks where we can get lost and cluttered on our journey. So a couple things. Number one, I think there's a lot of us out there that wake up most days negative. You realize that through people, through community, through connections, through a couple of honest conversations, through some probably level of vulnerability with yourself and looking in the phrase we throw around, spend a little more time in the mirror and less time out the window, a little less time looking at everybody else. What for you do you feel like was a catalyst at some point that made you say, maybe I'm the problem? Because I think a lot of us are willing at small moments to go, sure, we would admit that. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. It's me. I think there's songs about it. Shout out. But what was it for you that you like one day woke up and was like, man, I can't do this like this anymore? Because I think a lot of us struggle with that moment right there.
Yeah. With the negative thing, it wasn't like a one day, what happened that day. And we can cover that first. What was one day was my desire for the whole do more concept. That happened in literally a moment. But I'll get into the negative thing first because I think it's more important. And I still struggle with it to this day, dude, because I'm wired. It's who I am. And I'll give a story with it. This will give some insight. Like, my wife is super glass half full kind of person. If someone cuts her off in traffic, she by default believes that they didn't see her, where I believe they did it to annoy me. You know what I mean? Like, we're wired differently like that. I was driving. I go to this place, like I work out a lot, and I try to eat pretty healthy. And after the gym, I go to this place local to me called Kale Me Crazy. And I get smoothie and avocado toast, whatever. But to get to it, it's a little bit of pain in the butt to navigate the parking lot. You have to go through a Kroger, grocery store, and a gas station and kind of weasel around, go over some speed bumps. It's a pain to get to. So I'm going through, and at the front of the Kroger, an older dude is coming out with his grocery cart. So I slow down. I don't stop, but I slow down a ton. And there's a speed bump coming, and I go to hit over the speed bump, and the guy is crossing in front of me. In my view, plenty of room. And he's like looking at me, and he's gesturing, and he's looking at me, and he's gesturing. And I start to get frustrated inside. I'm like, why is this dude doing this to me? Bro, I'm nowhere near you. Like, what is the problem? So I roll up to him, and I roll down my window. And I'm like, and I don't go to yell at the guy, but I'm like, and I'm expecting him to yell at me. Dude, he goes, bro, I love your car. Do you want my parking spot? I'm about to leave. Oh my God. I did it again, dude. The guy just wanted to be nice to me. And my default was he was like frustrated or yelling. And that's me. Where my wife would have probably assumed he wanted to give her his parking spot. I don't know. I'm just not wired that way, dude. So I have to fight that. Now, in me, I didn't yell at him. I wasn't mean. So I felt better. But I really felt bad that my default is, I'm like, I have to assume better about people. And I don't. So I fight that this was 2 weeks ago, bro.
Yeah, I think I so appreciate you sharing that, because I think oftentimes without the kind of moments or the awareness to recognize, I'm going to use your word default, and let's think about it like our phone or our computer. I think a lot of times we feel our life is operating as though, this is both personally and professionally, professional for a second. I think oftentimes professionally, especially as a business owner, especially as a single owner, operator, business owner of any scale, I don't care if you're at 100,000 or 100 million. I talk to people between everywhere in between. We're all the same we're all human beings, right? We all dealing with the same kind of shit. But in doing so, like a laptop, oftentimes without the recognition, when things get haywire, the apps no longer work, sometimes we have to take a moment to step back and reset back to default. Yeah. And our capacity, though, without a deep understanding, which you very eloquently communicated via your story, without a deep understanding of what default is, we just assume starting over means it's just going to get better. When oftentimes starting over, going back to default, recognizing what our default is, may need to be a reality that the default doesn't work, and we got to update the system. I don't know why we're using computer analogies here. This is so far away from you and I. We're going to go roll with it for now.
It does work.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think there's something to that we get so accustomed to. That's just, and you've even used these words. However, I want to call it out because I think a lot of us don't do the work that you have done, which is we go, it's just who I am. Yeah. It's just how I'm wired. But we put a period there, we turn the page, and then we think we're going to write a next chapter. What for you, because I know your transition is there, I haven't, and we don't know each other super well, but we know each other fairly well. Yeah. I have yet to experience you get me to the it's just who I am, period, next chapter, take it or leave it. I've only experienced you as it's just who I am. I recognize that. Therefore, has to be a mechanism to get me out of that thing that if I don't want to be it. Would you say that now transition over to do more, would you feel like that was a catalyst to the recognition of default, and then how do I get myself out of that space?
Yeah, I think growing up, I was very much the type of, it's who I am, take it or leave it guy. That's who I was most of my life. And I just, you know what the trigger was for me, man, and this kind of goes to the change of it. Certainly, my wife helped a lot in a lot of ways. When we met, I was on like anxiety meds, Lexapro, and when you wash those down with vodka, it doesn't go really well. And she helped me within a couple months of knowing her, she was like, you don't need to be on these. Let's get you off. And she helped me, you know what I mean? She sees things differently. And then a great mentor of mine in the insurance space, when I was new to recruiting and building, I do want people to win. Like, I have this internal desire to help people win, like so intense. And I'm really direct with people because of my own inability to see people, like when people beat around the bush, I'm oblivious to that. I don't recognize it. Small hints, dude, I'll miss. So I'm like, can you just tell me? If you need me to tell me something, I'd rather you just tell me the message. So I taught that way too. And not everybody's that way. Not everybody receives it right. And a mentor of mine would tell me, and again, keep in mind, I grew up in Boston. I'm in the South now. One day he goes, dude, I'm like frustrated. I'm like, why is everyone quitting me? Why is everyone quitting? I don't understand. I know how to do this. I know how to teach it. Why is everyone quitting? And he goes, bro, you have zero bedside manner. And I was new to the South. I'm like, I've never heard that term. And he starts to explain it like in his terminology, right? Trying to be super nice to me. And I said, dude, is that you saying I'm an asshole to people? He goes, yes, that's what I mean. I was like, got it. Wait, that's what people feel? He was like, yeah, dude, your delivery is brutal. And so I learned this lesson that the words and the things I say and what people hear can be two totally different things. And I didn't want the reception of my words to be what they were. I hated how people received it because it's not what I meant. And so I decided I had to actively change on delivery, dude, and understand what people received better. And I still work on it. It's a hard thing to, it's a master.
Yeah, listen, if it makes you feel any better, it's really the only reason I have a job. It matters. It does matter. I think though you make a really good point about that and using your wife as the example that I'm gonna use the relationship there, but I'm gonna make that synonymous with some level of community and or connection, mentorship, whatever. And that what got you from point A to point B, even number one was that there was a problem, and that point A we could never get away from. And I pause on that for a second. I would just wrapped up a coaching call with somebody right before we got on here, and that was like the whole driving for 45 minutes was like, hey, let's stop thinking about point B and let's talk about for a second, why have you been on point A for 6 years? Surely, like you're telling me the answer for 6 years is that just because we can't define point B? I feel like there's got to be something else going on here. So there's an awareness and a recognition that let's go back to it, maybe I'm the problem. But what got you out of that place was a different perspective, right? The example with traffic, the example with a parking lot, the example with medication, the example with your wife going, hey, let me show you, your mentor saying, hey, I don't think you say what you think you say. What do you mean? And so 100%. Thankfully, like you over the course of your life have had a few people who were willing to go, hey, John, would you shut the hell up for a second and listen to what I'm telling you? And thankfully in that moment, you were willing to go, no, but go ahead. We're already here. So I guess I'll listen to what it is you have to say. And I think that requires some sort of intervention of sorts. That requires a different perspective. It requires our capacity to hear a different perspective and then to trust and believe that maybe there's some, even if it's just relative, laced with truth to some degree, there's something there for us to see, know, and understand, right? Sort of all those things going and functioning together. What then led to the do more now, get better later? Where did that come from? Because wife says, hey, calm down and be nice. And a mentor says, yo, chill the hell out and get different. So what was the impetus for you in that?
Yeah. Do you want to dive deep into the story?
Yeah, come on.
All right. So I was in the insurance space. I started in the space. I'll give a short version of the long story. I applied to an ad in insurance in 2008. Told the guy I wanted to get started. Send me the information. Dude, I'm ready for a change. It took me till March of 2010 to get my license after that statement. So a year and a half. Started in 2010, got my license, picked up the phone one day, made 20, 30 phone calls, got hung up on a few times, quit. I didn't sell my first policy till August of 2012. So 4 years from the time I said I'm ready to do it quick till I sold a policy, right? 2012 to 13, I do it part-time, do okay. I do better than my job. I was making 40 grand as an accountant. I do better there, so I'm doing okay. But I'm not like life-changing numbers by any means. First year full-time, do okay. Gross, top line, crack 100K, net, maybe 80. Not bad, but again, 5 kids. Dude, I'm still paycheck to paycheck for the most part. In our space, the money doesn't come equal. It's like you get a bunch here. It's all over the place. So it was still hard to navigate. You know what I mean? You pay off a credit card, buy a new car, you still have no money. It wasn't anything life-changing. During this time, 08, 09, when the whole mortgage, I was in the mortgage industry for a brief minute and made a couple bucks for the first time in my life, spent it. I always joke, like I signed a record deal with Jay-Z and the industry went away so fast, but I spent it like I didn't know how to manage money properly, which was the case, and had 2 houses foreclosed on. I had a car repoed, filed bankruptcy, and got divorced, all between 08 and 09.
It's a real great year.
It was banner, dude. Banner. But this is at the same time, I meet Steph at the end of 07. So she's with me through all this mess. When I first got with Steph, she brought me Thanksgiving leftovers from her mom's Thanksgiving family dinner that we go to next week, now that I'm a part of. But the first year we'd met, we were just getting to know each other. She brought me leftovers from her mom's house. and delivered it to me. And I was staying in an efficiency lodge at the time with 4 kids. She had none. And she brought me Thanksgiving dinner at the efficiency lodge. So like, she gets mad when people go, if they ever think I'm with you for the money.
Do you remember the Thanksgiving where?
Anyway, as part of the divorce, I can be super irritable. I don't like confrontation by default. I don't like stuff like that. I don't like confrontation by default. I just get me out of it. I just don't want to be a part of it. So as part of the divorce, I just wanted to be divorced. I just was like, I just want out. And they were trying to push how they figure out income for child support and alimony, all that stuff. They were basing it on mortgage income that I made for 6 months. And I'm like, I make $400 a week now. You know what I mean? I'm like I make no money. I work 2 jobs and make $400. And this was in '09. I was working at a call center at night, making $10 an hour, overnight AT&T cell phone call center. And then during the day, I was working at a tax place, one of those places where they flip signs out by the road. I was inside taking clients in for $8 an hour. So that's what I was doing in '09. So we're going through this divorce thing, and they go like, all right, we got you make no money. How about we defer alimony 5 years? Here's the number, but we'll give you 5 years to figure it out. I was like, fine, can I sign and be done? So I sign it, I'd be done, and move on with my life. Fast forward 5 years, that was 2015. Okay, so this ended in 2010, where it all got finalized. 2015 is the 5-year thing, or the end of 2014. In the beginning of 2015, I get a letter in the mail one day. That's, yo, your alimony's 3 months late. I get it in the mail. I open the mail at the office on a dial day, trying to book appointments. And I have a temper, dude, early, young. I had a temper. And I open the letter, and I lose my mind. Throw stuff off my desk, like something triggered. Dude, I'm mad. Killamet, the mentor, the bedside manner guy, he walks in, because our office is literally across the hall. He's, bro, what is happening? So I tell him, I hand him the letter. I'm pissed, dude. Keep in mind, it's for my kids. So I'm lose it. He looks at it, and he's the most simple dude ever. He's like the king of one-word answers, simplicity, just cool as a cucumber kind of guy. And I'm in the business now several years, right? So I understand how it works. I'm not confused. I see people having success. He looks at me dead in the eye, and he goes, bro, can I ask you a question? I was like, yeah, what's up? He goes, are you losing your mind right now over 1 client application a month? And I went, yeah, bro, my bad. I am. And I sat down and I said, F it. I'm never in my life going to worry about $1,000 again, ever. And bro, I went to work. I just said F it. I was so busy being analytical and trying to figure out the best product, the best lead, the best script, all the stuff. I'm I'm an accountant, dude. I am analytical, and I'm trying to figure out what's the paralysis by analysis. Mm-hmm. I can be that guy sometimes, but I also have a lot of fake it till you make it in me. I just don't care to mess up either. So I have a weird balance of both. And that day I just decided, dude, what if I just accept who I am in the business? My close ratio is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm a 40% close ratio guy, not a 90% close ratio guy. So be it. What if I just accept who I am and I just go do a ton more of it, and I'll worry about all the other getting better stuff later? Let me just go to work. I put my head down that day when I went out and made $500,000 that year selling insurance. Literally with just one change, just activity. I just tripled my activity. And it was a trigger one day. Literally the next month I made 40 grand. When I had been making 8, 10, 12 would be a killer month at the time. And it was just, dude, it lit something in me that I was like, I'm done, never again.
I love that story. And I think there's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of folks listening who are, and I use this word on purpose mostly just because I like the word, but I think there's a lot of folks out there that are like on the precipice, if you will.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're right there going, okay, could I stand here for another 18 months? Sure. Yep. Will it all fall apart? Probably not. Is this what I actually want? And the answer to that question most often is no. Therefore, before we dive into the paralysis of analysis and let me get every single thing exactly the way that I want it to be, exactly right on how I want to, what if we just said today, starting today, to my good friend John, I'm going to do more? Because I know most of us go, I'm going to do more of what? It's the same thing I ask somebody, what do you want? And they go, what do you mean? Like, in which part? But am I personal or professional? I don't know. I just want us to get somewhere. I want us to discover something. And I think it's the same way, is that if you're thinking right now, like, I really want to do this, and I really want to grow this or see this or change this, or we're talking about steps on a daily basis. You're talking about lifting heavy things. We're talking about growing your business. You're talking about hiring staff. You're talking about getting better. I got a text message this morning from someone that I knew a year and a half ago, thought we were going to work together about a year ago. They're on my list, my monthly list. I just reach out once a month just because I like them and care about it. How are you? What's up? Are you good? Hadn't talked to him really in the last, probably, they didn't reply to my one last month. So we're 60, 75 days from actually talking to each other. And I get a text this morning and he said, "Hey, I'm sending you an SOS. There's things in my life that I need to change. And I was given an ultimatum today that I have 12 months to figure it out. I need some kind of information about a group program or a one-to-one, or I need something." And you're the first person I thought of. Yeah, that's pretty dope. Like somebody on the other side of the US is thinking about their life and they're thinking, I got to call this guy. And we got to do more. Because whatever it is we've been doing, obviously it's not enough. Because if it was enough, you wouldn't be sending me a text that says, "Hey man, this is an SOS." So if you're listening right now and you're thinking to yourself, "Hey, I'm in an SOS situation," what are you going to do? And what can you do more of? And I think not just in sales or in insurance, but I think as people, as humans, we tend to want to believe that we have to perfect the activity before we can begin the activity. And there is no way. I can't help you improve your technique unless I know you've done it 100 times. Right. So I don't think technique is the problem. I don't think that your technique is why your back hurts when you do deadlift. Your back hurts because you don't deadlift. That's why your back hurts, because you don't do it, not because you do it wrong. That's correct. Right?
Yeah. I see so many people in a similar situation that I was in, and I was mad over something so silly to be mad over. I'm like, dude, I'm mad over having to pay more money for my kids because I'm judging where the money goes.
Yep.
And I'm like, and I got mad at myself for being mad at that. It was just a time where I was ready for the change. And again, I don't believe that any of us are blind completely to the things we're not doing that we say we should do. I knew I wasn't putting in enough work. You'll never convince me that you don't know you're lazy when you're lazy. No one will ever convince me. You know what I mean? And when I dig down deep with people, they do know it. What I don't know how to do, bro, and I struggle with this a ton, is like, I can give someone the mechanic, here, do ABC. That stuff's easy. I can get people to think different. That's easy for me. See things different, perspective. I feel super easy. Like I have a superpower with it. But how to give people that spark that makes them go, dude, I get stumped. And people ask for it. Can you give me that? I'm like, dude, if it was like being at church when I was a kid and on the Christmas thing and my candle lights your candle, like, I don't know how to do it. And I feel bad because a lot of people say the words that they want what I wanted. And I'm like, dude, it's easy. Just no offense. I don't have that good a vocabulary. Have you read the book? There's no big words in it. This can be really simple, but most people get stuck, dude. And I would love to see your thoughts on that.
I think you're absolutely right. You know me, I like alliteration. I like putting things together. So I tend to find for me and with other folks in exactly what you're saying, we're looking for a catalyst, right? We're looking for that. Give me the flame, give me the bump, give me the, okay, we did. Yeah. I often find the catalytic moment we're looking for is the first step we take after clarity. And the clarity we're looking for tends to be the first step we take after admitting I don't know and I need help. So I think where you help people change their mindset, I agree. And where people go, "John, just give it to me. Tell me what I need. Tell me what I can't tell you what you need because I need you to be able to communicate to me that you don't have the answer and that you recognize that it's going to just require effort." But you're asking me to give you a detailed map from where you are today to the very end, and I have no clue where you want to go. I think you and I talked about this before. I've probably quoted this guy. I've never met this guy in my life. Someday I hope to meet this guy because I've quoted him probably 800 times. In this book called The Lion Tracker's Guide to Life, he says, life is like lion tracking. Every day when you wake up, you have no idea where you are going, but you know exactly how you're going to get there. And I think that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
I want my life to be different. What does that mean? I don't know. Right? That feels like ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
But do your feet work? Because if your feet work, what I'm asking you to do is to go take a step anywhere. It sounds to me like anywhere but here.
It's true.
Activity for progress. If you're inactive, don't mistake inactivity for activity. Let's just keep it really basic. Do something, please.
Yeah.
And I think we are hoping that somebody else can energize us and revive us and give us something when the reality is it's just stand up.
Yeah, it's true.
Take one step. Stop worrying
Just
about
be
the
willing to go
direction.
through the journey blind. Well, again, I can give a roadmap to people, sure, to get from wherever. But what I think what people misunderstand, dude, is my next step, I don't know. I've never done it. Like I'm flying blind more so than the people looking for my help. We've done a lot of volume, sure. I don't know how to get to the next number.
That's right.
I've never done it. So I'm literally every day of my career, dude, banging my head against the wall, trying to figure out how to get to the next level too. But I live by and there is an acronym to, because again, I think at its core, most people do need to just physically, functionally do more of something that's working a little bit.
right.
and they'll get a better result.
That's right.
But there is an acronym. It does mean more to me than that.
Yep.
And for me, I actually believe in it. And if and when people come to my office, they see me live this. Like I'm willing to make a lot of mistakes in my office. I'm willing to have a lot of trial and error. I don't mind mistakes. I don't love repeated mistakes because I think you're not learning from them. You know what I mean? But messing up, I think if you're not messing up, you're losing opportunity to get better. So I give my crew the grace to make better. When they do it over and over again, I still am. And I think, I think most people are so unwilling to mess up. And I'm like, I use Maddox a lot at 13, learning baseball. I'm like, most people, it's Maddox wanting to get so good at baseball, he never strikes out again. That's what most people want in whatever they do.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, they want to do that and never get an at bat.
Correct.
So like but I think that like to make the assumption that everyone is already batting regularly, do more is go up to bat, get up to bat, just go swing the bat. That's the point. Yeah. But we're in the stands hoping that we can bat someday. And when we do, only hit dingers. And like that, the math is not mathing. That's not how it works. You can't, there's a key integral step we're missing here. And I think oftentimes for us, it's recognizing. So I think that would be my challenge. If you're listening to us right now, that would be my challenge for you is to think about what is that step? What is the at-bat for you? What is the space where you are poised, you are positioned, no pun intended, and you are ready to get in the batter's box, get out there and swing the bat on whatever it is, but you're not going to get a base hit. You're not going to get a home run. You're not going to, none of those things are going to happen until we do that.
You know what's funny, dude, is there's always those people too. I'm not a diehard sports guy anymore. I'm not. I used to be like obsessed. But every once in a while, I'll take Maddox to a game. We'll be with my buddies and we'll be watching a game. And you see those guys that are in the stands and they're yelling at the player for not performing perfectly, or they ran the wrong route, or they handled the ball incorrectly. And the dude in the stands knows the play of the player better than he knows his own career's play. I get frustrated with that guy because I'm like, how do you know what college he went to, how many touchdowns, all this stuff about him, but you don't know your own product really well. You don't know your own service. And there is the reps thing. It's like the other day, Maddox, they're in off-season workouts right now. Winter, they just finished the last tournament like a week and a half ago. And they had this exercise that they did 2 nights ago. It's a bat, but it was heavy. It was like weighted. And they're trying to get them to build strength in the off-season. They're all 13 years old and they're scrawny and they're trying to get muscle on these kids, right? And one of the things they're trying to get the kids to learn how to do is to swing like they're trying to hit a home run, not swinging to not strike out, not swinging to just touch to actually try to smash the ball. That's what they're teaching them in this moment. And so they get this heavy-weighted bat, and they have a pitching machine. And they're like, we're going to send you 15 pitches, literally with no time to prep. And we want you to swing as hard as you can, get back as fast as you can, swing again as hard as you can. He goes, I don't care if you even hit the ball. I don't care. It's the exercise of the swing the heavy bat as fast as you can to build muscle. And so they put him in. Maddox is getting frustrated. He's doing it, but he's mad that he's not connecting with every ball and hitting it perfectly. And the coach is, you're not listening to me, Maddox. The exercise is not how well you hit the ball right now. The exercise is how fast you can swing the bat and get it back and be in your stance and ready to go again. I don't care about the result in this moment. And he was having to coach Maddox on controlling his emotions for not having the fast, heavy swing and the perfect contact. The coach is like, dude, we'll work on the other piece later. Right now, I just need you to do more swings so you get stronger.
I would encourage you, if you're listening, is what is preventing you from building the life that you actually want, not some proverbial dream that you think you're supposed to have. Is what's preventing you from building the life you actually want your inability to swing the bat. Just swing the bat. Stop worrying about the results. Stop worrying about where it's going to go. Stop worrying about if you're going to get a base hit or hit a home run or what the team is doing. Or if you're not swinging the bat, I can guarantee you that you'll never hit the ball.
Amen.
Guaranteed. All right, we're going to end with this, John. We have a tradition. Anytime we have a guest in the show, we have a card game called Tell Me About That. And so I select a card at random, and then you just have to answer that question. And that's how we're going to wrap up today. The card I select is the one we had here. When was the last time that you felt most proud of yourself?
When I finished a marathon in March.
My guy. Hey, my guy's not a small guy. Let me tell you, I've seen him in real life, and he's not a small guy.
Yeah.
You hit the old 26.2, huh?
Yeah, dude, I got like tears in my eyes, bro. It was weird. I got like emotional. And I'm not like, that's not me. The second I crossed the line, dude, it was like, I'm not a runner. I just did something hard. You know what I mean? I had to prep for it. And to your point, I am not a small guy.
I'm telling you, he's like, I'm not a small guy either, and he makes
Yeah.
me look small.
Yeah. So that was the last time I was like super proud of something I did.
I love that. I love that it was something you did. I love it was something that was just you with you. I love that it was something difficult, something that was out of the norm and character. For you'd be different if you say, oh yeah, I'm proud of myself because I squatted 400 or whatever. Like I would be like, yeah, that sounds fine. It looks like you could probably do that in your sleep. But I love that. So John, I so appreciate you, my friend. Obviously, when we first met, it was a pleasure to meet you. It's been great to continue a relationship with you. I so appreciate you being on the show with me, sharing about yourself, about those things, and encouragement to all the folks that are listening to get in the box, pick up a bat, swing the bat, stop complaining about the runs you're not hitting because you're not batting, and do something starting now. And no better words could I have that do more now and get better later.
I appreciate it as always.
I appreciate you. You know where to find him. We'll have all of his links and everything in the show notes for you. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much for being a part of the Rocky Garza Show.